everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And it is also said, He makes everything beautiful in His own time. So on today's episode, I'm joined by our very own Wasu, all the way from Mutari. She's a well-known model. Her name is Life Matunzeni, and I'm going to be your host. I'm Portia. So, Life, how are you?
I am fine, Portia. How are you doing?
I'm good. So no booyah.
Do you know they get up here?
That's good. So tell us more about yourself. Who is Life?
Okay, my name is Lai. Yes, I am 26 years old. I am a philanthropist. I'm an administrator by profession, and I'm a child of God. So academically, I finished my master's in 2019 in public administration. Looking forward to starting a PhD this year. And I am a model as well. And I'd like to call myself an est of my nation. Yes, so basically that's what I do, and currently I'm working at Zimbabwe Youth Development Fund.
Okay.
Yes, so I work with young people.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so tell us more about your modeling career. Like you have mentioned that you're a model as well. And also tell us more about Miss Speech in Korea, that one.
Okay, well, my modeling career started in 2016 when I was by the University of Zimbabwe. So in 2016, I was crowned Miss University of Zimbabwe First Princess, and that's how my career sprouted. So from there, I became Miss Tourism Manicaland First Princess. I did Miss Tourism Zimbabwe in 2018, and I was the second princess. And I had the greatest opportunity of going to Seoul, South Korea in 2018, and in 2019, I represented Zimbabwe in Jeju Island in South Korea.
Wow,
Yes, that's where I was crowned Miss Speech.
Wow, that's very impressive. So how did you feel about the whole thing, the whole process, becoming Miss Speech, you know?
I think overall, me being a model has been an amazing journey. It's something that I'm forever grateful for to the Lord. And having the opportunity of representing an entire nation was just mind-blowing,
Wow.
title or no title. So when I was crowned Miss Speech, it was such an honor and a responsibility at the same time. Being raised by a single parent, it meant a lot for me to growing up to make my parents proud. So
Very difficult.
yes, so to be crowned best public speaker out of 50 countries, it meant a lot.
Yes, I know. So before we get into our today's topic, time management, I want to ask, how do you handle pressure as a model? I know, like, maybe sometimes a lot of guys in your DM, and also how do you handle negativity from the society? You know how people say about models. How
Yes.
do you handle that?
Firstly, I'd like to say when it comes to pressure, I'll answer from a perspective of a girl child, because I believe model or being a model, not being a model, at the end of the day, we're all in the same bracket of being a girl child.
Yes.
So for me, it has been principles. It's something that is a part of my life. I just gave myself specific rules that I have to live by, and I think those are some of the things that have protected me. And ultimately, being a child of God, you know, there are certain things that direct you, and that has been what has kept me or protected me. Most importantly, just being a child of God, and having to know my values and principles. Then when it comes to stigma that is surrounding modeling as a whole, as an industry, it's not easy.
I know.
Especially most communities in Zimbabwe have not really embraced modeling as a viable form of art. Yes, so in the entertainment industry, I think basically as a whole, a lot of people have struggled with acceptance, and I struggled a lot with it, also being a church girl.
Yes, I know that.
So it was such a struggle, but I think at the end of the day, what has made me persevere is the targets I've given myself, and not to say I've lived my life for people, but I've tried at my level best to prove them wrong, you know. I think I've tried, and honestly, to be honest, it's being a role model. It's being an icon of change, because I believe that we can always be the change that we desire. So I know these things, they might be true, there might be things that happen in the industry. Just like in life, there are a lot of things that happen in life. But at the end of the day, It's what we want as young people now. We change the narrative. And I believe that I've changed the narrative. I believe I've changed, I've managed to be somebody you can look at and say, oh, modeling is actually a profession. And it has nothing to do with all these other things, because even anyone who's not a model can be a part of such things. So to remove the stigma in society, for me, the greatest thing has been to definitely go for it. And I've managed to do that because of my supportive family. My mom has been my role model, my pillar, and she has made me go this far.
Okay, that's quite impressive. You have mentioned church. Let's talk about that. I have seen you preaching, evangelizing. So how do you balance modeling and preaching?
Growing up in Zayoja Forward in Faith, I was an active member from child evangelism. And yeah, we used to preach a lot. And going to university, I was part of Zayoja on campus. And we had the gracious opportunity of going for outreaches and all other ministries that we attended. And I was a model then, and I'm still a model now. So modeling is a profession, but being a child of God and bringing people in, like winning souls, bringing people to know about Christ, spreading the gospel is something that I live by. I can decide to leave modeling tomorrow, but that I can't leave. So how do I put the two together? I just know that this is a profession. This is something I was called to do. So at the end of the day, for me, they just work hand in hand. It's the same individual, but just doing something for a living.
We will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome to our second segment, and we are still on time management. So, what is time management?
Well, I believe time management is conscious planning and effective control of time spent on any specific activity in order to attain productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness.
Okay, so do you think it is necessary to have a timetable as a person?
Yes, I believe it's crucial. It's very important to have a personal timetable in life, because you need to be in control of your life. That's how you start. And, it's very important. Why? Because most people, especially young people, they have a tendency of becoming busybodies. That's what I like to call them. Because you think you are using your time effectively, but maybe you are just moving in circles. So what time management does, or what a personal timetable does, is that it helps you to know if you're moving forward, or if you're going backwards, or even the pace that you're taking. But where there's no timetable, sometimes you end up moving in circles, going nowhere. So it's very important because, number one, you get rid of procrastination. You know exactly what needs to be done. And number two, you save yourself energy of wondering what should or what should not. You know exactly what you need to attain. And number three, I think effectiveness, generally knowing what needs to be done, when and how. So you get to know of the things that are important in life and the things that are urgent. Because as young people, sometimes you're busy pursuing things that are not urgent and not important. So a personal timetable helps you to know the things that are important and urgent at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Do you think it's rude when someone asks to see you, right? And you ask them the purpose of the meeting, or maybe is it personal or is it business? Do you think it's rude?
I think it's very important to ask if it's a social engagement or if it's business.
Yes.
And I think this challenge we have it with a lot of young people, myself included, because sometimes, honestly, we also don't want to appear mean. But once the moment you don't know the kind of engagement that is going to be there, it means your relationship with that person is, well, undefined.
Wow.
Because if it's someone I'm very close to, there are high chances that I would know what this is about.
Okay.
And if it's somebody that is trying to get to know me, it's also important that I know. It tells me how I should go to that meeting dressed, how I should dress up, how I should present myself there, where are we going, and how I should present myself there. So if you're somebody who needs to plan ahead and will use their time effectively, I think it's just how you ask that will determine if it's rude. Like if you would then say, what do you want us to talk about? Do you understand? Is it
Yeah.
business? That's rude. But if you ask nicely, oh, I'm so sorry, I just wanted to confirm kindly if it was business or if it's a social engagement, I think that'll be fine.
Okay, on that, don't you think the other person also have to be clear about their intentions in the first place so that I don't have to ask?
Exactly. I think yes. Thank you for that. I think it's a two-way engagement. It should be mutual. You know what? When it comes to managing our time, you can't do it alone. If you're my friend, you help me out by notifying me that on Friday we are going to be doing this, or on Friday there's a meeting at this particular place. There's a business opportunity. So it's very important for both of us to communicate and know best how we're supposed to use our time. And it also determine if it's urgent or important for me. Because there are matters that are important but not urgent. And then there are matters that are urgent but not important. So I need to evaluate if this is important and urgent at the same time.
Okay, so you have mentioned something about being close. How close?
Well, I mean, family, friends, colleagues, associates, business partners. It's a whole circle of people that are surrounding us.
Yes.
And then for some people, it's partners, or maybe somebody you're in a courtship with. Then you would know that this type of visit or this type of engagement is like this. So I think at the end of the day, it's all in how you ask, be it family, be it a business colleague. It's all in how you ask, how you present yourself. Yeah, so that you don't also appear mean to people.
So it's also a sign of being professional, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you handle like someone or some people who don't understand that? Like they just want to see you at their own time, at their own space. How do you deal with such people?
Um, I think it is very important to work on personal branding, because when you become a brand as an individual, your brand attracts a certain group of people or type of people.
Right.
So when you brand yourself, people just know that this person does things like this. For example, I'm sure you in your family you have one aunt that does not take nonsense. But
Yeah.
there's one aunt that I can talk to her about anything, we can joke
Exactly.
about anything.
Yes.
That's how they've branded themselves. So when it comes to personal branding, I think it starts with me. For example, I can just say I should never be late for anything. If I'm needed somewhere by 10 o'clock, I make sure that by quarter to 10, I'm already at that venue. You're branding yourself. Even the people that are around you, they attract that aura. So they know how to relate to you, how to communicate with you. So I think at the end of the day, yes, it's possible sometimes that people won't understand that this is your way of doing things. But everyone is still growing and our pace is different. I think that we can also be motivators. We can also be agents of encouragement to say, you know what, this is how we should do it. So with time, people will get to know. And I think it's also okay to just explain yourself in a very nice way that I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it because on the same day I have another engagement. But if it's okay, is it okay if we do this during the week? My weekends are tight. But if somebody doesn't understand, really, just see if whatever you're trying to do align with your goals. Because if it does not, then you might end up, living other people's lives at the expense of your own.
Wow. So how do you manage your time, and how do you handle pressure in your life, like being a model, work, school?
For me, I try as much as I can to plan my things. So, as you've seen, I always travel around with a diary. I write things down because it helps me know what I should do first, and also I try to avoid procrastination, and it helps me know that I'm not neglecting one of the other important tasks that I have to do. For example, it would be so wrong for me to focus on modeling only, forgetting my work or forgetting school. And I'm young. I also have social engagements and things like that. And the most important thing really is to be extremely selfish with your time. because if I have to focus on one thing, it won't work. So I try as much as I can to plan my things. I can give you an example of how currently I'm planning to go to Tanzania to represent Zimbabwe at Miss Jungle.
Wow.
It's a whole task on its own.
Exactly.
I'm left with less than 2 weeks, and at the same time I'm here, and I just left work in the morning. I made sure that I did all my tasks in the morning. And if I have a shoot for modeling, it's in the afternoon. But I can't move around with all these things in my head. So I try to write them down. Yes, that's how I pretty much manage my time.
Okay, or maybe you have a manager.
I wish.
Well, guys, I hope you are learning a lot about time management. We will take a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and we are still learning about time management. So life will come back.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I maybe you have a manager who plans things for you. Do you have a manager?
I wish I had a manager. No, not in the perspective of someone who manages my time.
Okay.
No, but I do have a manager in terms of my modeling career, as in terms of getting contracts and the commercial side of modeling for brands. Yes.
Okay, while we are on this manager thing and managing and stuff like that, do you think it's rude for someone or for some people who have their own managers? Maybe I want to have an appointment with them and they say you have to go through my manager, or maybe you have to go through my PA. Is it rude?
No, it's not rude. I think in the corporate world, and basically at a professional level, there are some people with bigger tasks than others, and their time is so hectic that they need somebody who can be there to assist.
Okay, especially when that person is very close to them. Or maybe, okay, as you have mentioned, you are young, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's your boyfriend, and then you say, you know what, you have to go through my PA, something like that. I'm not saying that's the scenario. I'm just saying maybe someone who is close to you,
Yeah.
and they just say, you know what, I want to see you, and then you say, you talk to my manager, talk to my PA, something like that. Is it rude?
Let me come in like this. I think it is important, if you're a busy person, to have at least two forms of communication, the personal one and the business one. So if it's in the business side of things, it's allowed to have a PA, it's allowed to have a manager who can answer your calls and even update people what time you'll be back and things like that. And then if you have a personal line, that's your inner circle. So if that's your partner, if that's your friend, your family, if they send you a message, for example, and you don't respond on time,
Exactly.
there are people you love and there are people who love you. They can always call you back and say, you can always call back and say, I'm so sorry, I was occupied at this time, So I think it would be a bit mean as a young person, for example, to answer my mom and say, my PA will get back to you. No. I think it's separate the two if it's too hectic. Yes. And have the personal one. And if you're too tied up, I'm sure people who are close to you would understand your schedule as well. And I think that's the best way to go about it.
And do you think there's someone who is that busy zvekutodaro zvekuti hawane kana time?
There are people with hectic schedules. There are people who are running multiple businesses. They are seasonal entrepreneurs and they have a lot of things to juggle. But I believe with time management, they always have time to do other things, because everybody needs a social life at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Our life is balanced by the things we do. So if one side is not balanced, we can't move. It's like a wheel. If one side is not pressured with air, you can't roll. So at the end of the day, too busy, I don't know in what perspective, but if it's in the aspect of neglecting family or things like that, I think anyone who cares about something will make time.
Wow. Okay. And what do you think about enlightening the youth? Is it helpful or?
Yes, I think it is very important to enlighten young people, because they are the future of tomorrow. They are the cabinet of tomorrow. They are the leaders of tomorrow. It is very important to lead them into the future with light, with knowledge and skills. So I think as enlightening the youth, you are doing such an amazing job. I've been on some of your platforms, and I remember at that time there were over 150 young people active on that platform, And I think that's amazing. And they were all coming from different walks of life. And to bring people together like that, to give them knowledge, and it's amazing, I think.
Thank you. So, any advice to other youth out there, to the enlightened ones, youth, and any advice about time management or anything, just a general advice?
As a young person as well, to other young people, I would like to say, embrace who you are. Don't make the mistake of living somebody else's life. Follow your dreams. Work hard towards them. Don't be a busybody and don't be docile about your own life. You need to put in work in order to achieve your dreams. And if you manage your time wisely, you can still be a young person, enjoy life, and be independent as well. Because I believe that what young people should get into the future with is independence and leading a sustainable life where you're able to sustain yourself, to fund yourself, and to live the life that you want. Because half the time crime comes when we are not satisfied with what we have. But I believe that as young people, if we work hard towards what we want, we can definitely lead comfortable lives. Just as a word of advice as well, it wasn't easy being a model. But even the people around you, whatever you want to achieve, even if it's you want to start a business and the people around you don't believe in that business, or they don't think you're capable enough to run it, I just want to encourage you to start. Because once you start, even the people around you will be, triggered to help you achieve that dream. Don't give up.
Okay, well, thank you, Life. So, have you ever played pick and do before?
No. No.
Okay, so what we are going to do here, you're just going to pick just one and you open. You are going to do exactly what's written there.
All right.
No cheating.
Oh my God. Am I even safe?
Let's hope so.
Can you dance any African dance? I can't even dance to save my own life.
But being a model, you should know how to dance.
Can I pick another one? Please.
No cheating. Okay, fine.
Thank you. Oh, yes. Can you sing his favorite song?
Okay.
I don't know if I have a favorite song. Do I have a favorite song? Okay. All right. So there's this bit I used to do in high school, and why not do it 10 years later? um, so it used to go like this. Da dum 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 da da dum da do da dum dum do da da dum 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 da da dum da do da dum dum do da 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 do da da do da da dum 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 do da 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 do da da do da ini donzi donzi life andigoni ba izo zeku imba.
Really?
Yeah, no, maybe
Oh, that was good though.
thank you, thank you.
I was
But
about to dance.
I used to do that in high school and people would go crazy, but
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Then I'll sing.
Okay. Oh.
Pasipano pezuaka apana kana mumwe angandida sezvaunoita unofona mangwanani baby warara sei uskerebo kosara chindifungawo balance no texta. Yeah.
I would take it as your favorite song.
It just came to my mind. I don't know why, but
Well, thank you so much, Life. That was mind blowing. I've learned a lot today about time management, and you are doing so well in life. I'm really proud of you.
thank you so much for having me. It was an honor being here.
Thank you so much. So maybe you can just have our t-shirt, a gift.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, guys, I really hope you have learned a lot today. As I have said, He makes everything beautiful in His own time. Just because everyone is doing it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Well, thank you so much for watching our show, and I hope you subscribe. Keep on subscribing, keep on sharing our links. For me and the team behind the crew, it's a goodbye. See you next time. Thank you.